Welcome back. Now, I don't want to over hope, if that's a word, okay? Over optimism certainly is. But something different is happening in this country. There is a momentum building which I've never seen before. And we just have to ride it now. And we have to make sure that it doesn't stall. Because there are lots of forces out there that are going to try their best that we stall and fall on our faces and we remain where we've been for the past 60, 70 odd years. Nothing can be done in a modern age industrial economy without what makes up this. Okay, don't look at the cameras which sells the phone. This is a Samsung Korean phone, by the way. No more Chinese, and they don't pay me to carry it or to publicize it. Okay, everything inside this is based on silicon chips. Okay, we currently do not have large scale capacity to manufacture silicon chips in this country. We don't have the fabricator, we don't have the ecosystem that's going to make millions and billions of these per year. Without this silicon chip, every mobile phone that we claim is made in India is actually just assembled in India. Okay, so we are the second largest or largest assembler of mobile phones. We are not the largest manufacturer of mobile phones. Even Indian companies, Indian brands that make mobile phones have to source the parts from elsewhere. So this is a fundamental game-changing issue. I've discussed it several times here on NewsX. We got an opportunity to take this up a couple of days ago because as we speak, movement is finally happening, and that calls for a clap of relief. A group of partners, including tech experts, incubator platforms, and IITs, are now coming together, and you're seeing their photographs on your screens, are coming together to incubate a semiconductor ecosystem in this country. I can't tell you how much of a relief it is because it's been like screaming to a wall for a long period of time that is finally happening. Let's open up this conversation. Yamini Agarwal is on the broadcast with us. Professor Madhav Nalapad stays on with us. Let me take the opportunity of inviting Trivikram Chaudhary. He's a student from BITS. Trivikram, are you in Pilani?
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently not in Pilani though. Currently I'm at home because of the lockdown.
Okay, but you're a student of so because everybody knows BITS as Pilani, so I'm gonna point that out to them. And you're studying electronics, Trivikram. For people watching a broadcast like this, can you help us Indians understand that everything has a semiconductor, even your car has a semiconductor in it, okay, has a chip somewhere.
Of course.
Okay, everything that we are doing to broadcast this, so from the computer to his headset, to my headset, to my phone, to this camera, to the TV screen you're watching this from, is built out of semiconductors and silicon chips. Now, Trivikram, if we cannot get a large scale semiconductor fabricator in this country, how will we do manufacturing?
You raised a very good point. Like what you're talking about is these are called embedded systems. We find them everywhere, from even our microwaves, as you mentioned, our TV, phones. It's everywhere, and without connecting to the electronic industry, without connecting devices to electronics, we cannot even imagine a world where we live in. So it is actually very important right now to build manufacturing. India, as you mentioned, does not have a large scale capability. We have very small fabricators, if any, and the government has started to incentivize such schemes, provide students and even startups some platform to grow, but without a complete ecosystem being built.
Okay, so we're going to build it. Trivikram, here's the challenge, and we accept the challenge. We are the next generation of this country. We accept the challenge. We will build that ecosystem. Okay. Now you tell me, do you or your colleagues or people you know, seniors, juniors, have you guys ever designed your own chips? Because you're an electronics engineering student. Do you guys design your own chips sometimes?
Of course. So there was a very good initiative by the Maker Village. It's a government-funded entity in Kerala, which invited startups to build products indigenously. And me, my friends, a lot of people from my college, we did try to build our own products. A lot of them got funded. The process is, I guess, still going on. And this is a culture which, as we grow older, as I'm seeing more of the industry, we can see growing.
Okay, so let me.
Which is a
Okay, so
very
the
good-
reason I'm
which is
asking this
very-
question is because I'm trying to educate an audience out there. So if now Trivikram wants to make a new sort of drone, okay, for the Indian Army, now he can design a chip, no problem. There are certain places where you can get chips printed to small orders. So 5, 10 for a prototype. Chip can be made, sometimes can be handmade, but otherwise can be printed. So they can cut out, laser cut and printed. Okay, printing is
Right.
you take a silicon board and you actually print the chip on top of it. So you can do it in small quantities. But tomorrow when he starts the company and he needs 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 200,000 of these chips, they can't be made in India. Okay, so he'll have to find somebody, hopefully not in China, but maybe in Taiwan or Vietnam to print it for him. We hardly even produce silicon. The base board, which is just a silicon, literally a silicon chip, we don't even produce much of that in this country. So this is the problem that a young entrepreneur like Trivikram faces. Now let me get Professor Nalapat into this conversation. Professor Nalapat, you are a great big proponent of thinking about 10 years from now, right now. We've spoken a lot about 5G and Huawei. We can't solve any of these problems if we can't make these silicon chips here. So what do we do, sir?
Well, I'd like to remind the audience of NewsX that India is now spending possibly more on importing, for example, chips and telecom equipment, whether it's mobile phones or any other equipment related to that, than it is spending on petroleum, even during the time when petrol prices were very high. I mean, frankly, petrol prices are low, but even then, we are spending a tremendous amount of money. And if we had spent 1/20th of that money in helping our own industry develop, we would not have
Okay,
needed
I'll
to
put
do
the
it
figure
before
out, sir,
that.
since I know it. $118 billion is how much we spend on importing silicon chips or ancillary products. $118 billion. Okay. Yeah, that's more than our
Exactly.
entire trade with China. Yeah, finish your thought, sir.
Look, I want to say, Rishabh, that I'm happy finally that the government is active on this front. I've seen, for example, in 5G, there was an Indian Institute of Technology, which had developed about 90% of a very effective 5G network. Well, it was not given any encouragement, and a lot of foreign brands jumped into the market. I mean, I don't know whether some of the lack of encouragement was because of pressure from a certain company in China who was hoping to capture the 5G market in India. I hope that never happens. Aadhaar, we're talking about something as basic as hundreds of millions of our citizens have now got their, including me, their fingerprints, their irises, everything is all identified through Aadhaar. And my understanding is that technologies were available and were developed, which were just about 6 to 18 months distant, where they're completely indigenous, but they were given the go-by in favor of external technologies. Now we have a lot of the Aadhaar information. I frankly, I don't know where exactly it's being stored. I don't know how safe it is. But I've heard from scientists that that we could have easily developed our own system
Done it ourselves.
for this kind of identification, for fingerprinting, and we just somehow a decision was taken at that point in time. No, let's get it 90 days
No, but
faster.
Professor Nalapat,
and let's forget
this is
about
the thing now.
Indian systems.
We assume and that just because it's Indian, therefore it's of inferior quality. I mean, that's not the truth. I've interviewed, in our space tech series, which we do now almost every few days here on NewsX, an Indian entrepreneur working out of Hyderabad and Bengaluru, who is providing frontline space technology to US companies. His biggest investors are US, his biggest clients are US, but he's sitting and doing it here in India. It's unbelievable sometimes. Let me get Yamini Agarwal into this conversation. Yamini ji, it's a massive onion to crack. Okay, I think we are finally, or in this case to peel, we are finally beginning to peel it. Just to hammer this point home, how can we do anything about anything if we can't make silicon chips in this country?
Well, I think, the aim of the government has been to promote an ecosystem for the development of a semiconductors, which does look at a very strong market of US dollar 400 billion by 2025. The aims have been where Tata has already invested about 5,000 crores in Apple company for manufacturing of mobiles and other items. Also, one is looking at not only today's working, but investing into AI, IoTs, mobile and laptop electronics, or the other industry electronics which you require, whereby it is necessitated that indigenous developments take place, which may be fostered or given requisite help by the government. Whereby in 2020 there was a expression of interest which was invited by the government for the purposes of bringing about the fabricators of semiconductors that is there. And the essence of recognizing this is through the programs which the government has been introducing through the wireless networks of the 5G network, which it is trying to bring about, or it is trying to introduce through the digitalization process, or through the other processes of making electronic items easier available. Right now, we are majorly dependent upon Taiwan for our imports for semiconductors. And when we also look at the electronic products, a large portion comes from China.
Okay, so, so let me ask you then, let me take the bull by its horns. Professor Yamini Agarwal, it takes us some time to get the expertise built here in India. So we need a major global player that has been designing semiconductor fabricators. We know the Intels and the AMDs, everybody else is based out of Taiwan. So I need to introduce maybe of the 5 or 6 top semiconductor manufacturers in Taiwan to set up base here in India. Okay, they don't need to, but we need them to. So how do I get them on board?
It's important to incentivize the ease of doing business activity. As you've already seen, we've reached to a very high level in the ease of doing business, making the overall framework in such a manner that the compliances are simpler. If you look at the previous budget also, they decriminalized a large number of activities from the corporate sector. Also, when you look at the credit facility which is going to be provided to people, or the other kind of an assistance, whether it's easy approvals with respect to different frameworks or digitalization, even the tax frameworks that are there are being made in such a manner that they are more easier for the foreign investors to come in and invest.
Okay, so we are still talking ease of doing business. If we keep waiting for ease of doing business, it'll probably never happen. Phone calls need to be made, hard decisions need to be made, and a clear offer has to be put on the table. Come do this, and this is what is in it for you. Long-term strategy might fail. Professor Nalapat, just on that thought, now if I were to pick up the phone and say, okay, you have AMD and you have Intel and all the other major manufacturers, mostly are in Taiwan, a few are there in Vietnam. I want them to send up an ancillary plant worth these many billions of dollars and these many million chips a year. What is the hard offer on the table that needs to go now?
Well, Rishabh, Professor Agarwal may be very happy at the way things are going, but if you go to Taiwan, if you go to China, if you go to some other locations, you already have 5G and they're moving into 6G, and we are still stuck with 4G. In fact, a lot of the systems are not even 4G. So I can't say I am delighted. There's going to be an explosion of demand for chips, an explosion of demand, because everything from the car to your kitchen appliances to everyday life to medical instruments, everything is going to require a huge number of chips. So there's going to be an explosion in demand, and India can meet that demand in 2 ways. One is, of course, domestic manufacture, indigenous technology, and I'd like to say, Rishabh, our technology, so-called indigenous brains, are active across the world.
Yeah.
You go to Taiwan, you will see them active in Kaohsiung and other tech facilities in Taiwan. The United States, they're active there. You go to China, and they've been taking a lot of Indian brains for their activity. So the point is very simple. We have to have, as is correctly been said by the young man, we must have an ecosystem that promotes a smooth, seamless kind of development. And now take rare earths, for example. We are dependent on China for rare earths. We are dependent on China for pharmaceutical intermediates. we need not have been dependent on China.
Yeah.
But because somebody made 10 rupees more out of every 1,000 rupees from China, that somebody ensured that Indian manufacturing was snuffed out,
Okay.
and it was replaced with Chinese manufacturing. So whether it's rare earths, whether it is so many other materials, this is what is happening. And
Okay.
we need, therefore, a much more holistic and long-term approach.
Okay, so,
and yes,
you know-
I agree. Modi 2.0 is a big improvement from Modi 1.0. Frankly, I'd like to say I was very disappointed in the functioning of North Bloc during Modi 1.0. It reminded me too much of the days of the UPA. But Modi 2.0, fortunately,
Okay.
is proving to be
Okay,
different.
so I'll give credit where credit is deserved. There is an approach change, and the approach change is we are looking at ecosystems. We're not just looking at one plant. So what the race to data announcement is, why I'm having this conversation, is that in IIT Hyderabad, okay, an effort is going to be put into place where people who are working in the silicon chip space, startup entrepreneurs, are going to get up to 1 crore rupees of investment to kick off, angel investment. Okay, so an ecosystem into place. Okay, now let me get Trivikram back into this conversation. Now, Trivikram, now that you know that there is funds available, that tomorrow if you start a company, let us say I want to get a product manufactured. Okay, I want to make a new better remote control. Okay, now I have to come to you, an electronic engineer, then maybe a design student to design it for me to make the product. Now I come to you as an electronic engineer, so therefore you need to form a company that is helping people solve problems. Similarly, you have coders who help people solve problems, people solve hardware problems. Now that you know that 1 crore rupees of money is available if you start up a chip designing company, are you more likely, or your friends, colleagues, senior, juniors, more likely to say, hang on, this is what our startups should be about?
Of course, definitely, without doubt, there's a conversation existing amongst the Indian engineers about how to create, not just how to work for a company which is probably based out of, say, a Taiwan or a USA or Europe, but to actually create something of your own. And currently, there's a dearth of funding. If I want to build something right now, it is very difficult for a person like me to go out and get enough funding to build the entire, from manufacturing to the intellectual property to the design, everything is a costly process, and it's not easy to get that right now, the funding. But if I get a platform where I'm getting 1 crore or 2 crore rupees, it becomes very easy for an engineer to dream about building something and actually provide to the economy and provide a product which can be used by the people.
Okay, so when I
And,
talk about
as-
ecosystem, okay, now help me put the puzzle pieces together when we say ecosystem before I get Yamini ji back into this conversation. When we say ecosystem, we mean we need engineers like Trivikram, okay, to be taking up chip design as part of their courses. We need universities like BITS and IIT Hyderabad and IIT Madras to be providing them the facilities where they can actually print out these chips as prototypes. Then we need the next tier, and the next tier is the small scale chip printers who can take out 1,000, 2,000 pieces. And then we need the people who are going to take out millions and millions of these chips if the product goes, goes bananas. So that's the ecosystem. You need the designers, you need the manufacturers, and you put all of these things together, you create an ecosystem. So now, Trivikram, what are the puzzle pieces in the ecosystem that, let's say, when do you graduate from BITS?
I'm graduating in the next 2 months. I'll be
Okay, so you're
graduate
almost
by
done,
May.
right? So now you have the
Yeah.
option, either because you're from a very well reputed institute. My father-in-law is from your institute. I've been to BITS several times for competitions. So you have the option now that you're going to get a job as an engineer because you're from BITS Pilani. You've qualified well. And you also have the option of starting up your own company. Now, for me to make it easier for you to start up your own company instead of going CV in hand, what else do you guys require?
So, apart from just cash, as you mentioned, the other parts of the manufacturing ecosystem are very important. Like to get an entire supply chain ready where I'm sure that I can get my product designed and actually printed and tested. That's very important. Apart from all this also, what we need is intellectual property. Currently, the basic building blocks of our designs are sourced from, say, an Intel or any other existing company abroad. We we use companies from the USA to design our FPGAs, which are our test devices. If we have such technology available in India, if we have such intellectual property available in India, if we have existing data, if I want to build a product, I want data to work with to get a good design. But there's a very severe lack of all these things for a person who just starts out. If I want to build a medical device, first I need the data of the diseases in India, which is not there. If I need to design a car chip, I need to have the data of the requirement of a car company. All this, the data, the intellectual property, the manufacturing, all these are very important.
So you mentioned IPR. So let me get pick the mind of Yamini ji on IPR. Okay. So now let's assume, and I'm talking the ecosystem approach. Of course, everything is not Intel and AMD setting up a manufacturing plant, right? So if you are Yamini ji, if you or somebody in your family wants to start a company, okay, and they want to make a better version of a microwave, they'll have to get an electronic engineer to design the chip inside it. Okay. And they don't have one yet. So how do I get all those chip designers put in place? How do I get them to protect their IPR? How do we create that ecosystem further? How do I get lawyers involved, etc., etc.?
Well, I think, when we talk about the ecosystem, it's very important to understand that, an established system is there where, startups at the university level or at many other levels through incubators are starting, where people who are innovative are brought forth to, design, redesign, or bring forth their innovative ideas in place. Also, seed funding takes place through various venture capitalists who already exist. So, you can approach, there was large number of programs which were done by media channels also, or there are programs which are done by industrial houses, whereby, competitions through different means invite innovative ideas for development of different products, right from a microwave to a car design to a sensory chip in your lighting. So everything and anything is innovative in a process, and which comes from universities or which comes from ideas from different corporate experienced people or from the industry experienced people who may get seed funding when they apply for it.
Yes.
Another important aspect which is important is to see that they get credit when they require it. So, like IDBI or many other banks have something called the venture capital fund. So that venture capital fund goes into funding these new seed ideas that are there.
Okay.
Also, many corporate houses internally and externally fund innovative ideas for their development as well as for development
but
ancillary
it's a lot better, I can tell you, than in the past 3 or 4 years than it was then. But it's not completely part of our DNA yet. So I'm going to leave the last word to Professor Nalapat. But before that, Trivikram, now, as I mentioned, Trivikram, now career decisions will have to be made, right? You'll have a whole batch of people, not only from BITS Pilani, but from all the IITs. After a crazy year last year, where I'm sure your seniors have been wondering what the heck just happened. Okay, so you have options. Now you have options. Okay, CV, all right. Apply to companies here. Okay, other options are you head to MIT and stuff like that. Okay, you get scholarships, or you take loans to go there. Third option is startups. Now, how do I convince your generation of graduating engineers? Stay here, start your own companies, and this country will create the ecosystem. So you don't have to go to MIT to found your company. You can do it right here. How do I convince you guys?
I think the only good thing about a Western country or an MIT is the peer group which we have. The peer group and also the funding. If I have funding and if I have a peer group of, if I have like-minded people who want to build something, who want to create a new product, who want to experiment with ideas and innovate, I think these two things together are the most important things to actually produce something of value out of a group of individuals.
Okay, give my compliments to your entire team at BITS Pilani. They've created an institute of excellence over many years. We rely on you guys, and I'm going to try to convince you to stay here and build your own company rather than join Satya Nadella and Microsoft. Last word, Professor Nalapat. We have the brains. It's just about giving these guys, the spanner and the hammer to tinker with, and they'll build you the next Eiffel Tower. How do we do it?
Rishabh, I just want to make a point, and that is that there should be natural selection of the winners. There ought not to be any kind of favoritism in the ecosystem, and the problem is you can have a scheme that is fantastic on paper, but it's only as good as the individuals who are implementing it at various levels.
And the funding goes to somebody's cousin.
Supervision needs to be made to ensure that any individual who tries to indulge in favoritism or who interferes with the natural selection of winners is severely punished. We need that kind of an administrative system in place because these people are also a threat to our future. Second point is, I'm afraid in our country, we have, as Naipal said, a craze for foreign. Look at the amount of money given by Indian citizens to foreign universities and foreign think tanks and institutions. It runs in the billions. It's way more than given to Indian universities. For heaven's sake, have faith in your own people. You are Indian. Have faith in India.
I couldn't agree. I can think of a very well-known Indian entrepreneur, big tycoon who donated $6 million to Harvard University. Harvard University doesn't need your money. $6 million completely builds a new university here in India. So yes, we have that problem. But it's been a fascinating conversation. I'm hoping that the puzzle pieces are falling into place and things are being kicked into place, and a bit of transparency, scrutiny, enthusiasm, encouragement is going to take, because we've always had the brains to do it. Getting the infrastructure in place shouldn't be rocket science, and even if it's rocket science, we have the best rocket scientists. Thank you all for having this conversation.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.